scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side
What's up, everybody? I have fucking mono.
My name's Taylor. I'm 25 and I have fucking mono.
26 years old and I have fucking mono. And I never learned how to not get mono.
Apparently.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a fun thing.
Yeah.
He's asymptomatic.
I mean, very. I have not felt. I mean, I feel like the biggest, symptom of mono is you get, fatigued, you know? Which
how do you feel?
Not felt
You're
very
feeling
fatigued.
good?
Yeah, for the most part.
High energy at all times.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like a gerbil running on a wheel.
Exactly. As high as, my energy can get.
Yeah,
know,
which is pretty...
Which is, pretty chill most of the time, but...
That's true.
But, yeah, and nothing out of the ordinary, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just these, giant red ulcers on my back. But other
But
than
that's been there.
That's normal.
For a while.
Actually, I have shingles. It's wild.
Oh, shit. Shingles, too.
Shingles. This is you're listening to Shinglecast.
Shinglecast,
the podcast where we talk about shingles, baby.
Not to be confused with Jinglecast, which is Santa's podcast.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No,
Shinglecast. This is where we talk about our experiences with shingles.
Of course.
I do know someone that has had shingles.
Me too. Me as well.
It's pretty common, actually.
It's
not that cool of a fact.
In fact, it's kind of pretty normal.
It's average. And guess what? If you've had shingles, you're cool and don't feel bad about it. And also, if you have currently mono, start a forum with Taylor about what it's like to have mono.
Please, I'm starting a subreddit.
Yeah, r/mono havers.
Yeah, mono folks.
Mono folks.
Phoebe, what fucking podcast are they actually listening to?
Oh, right. This is Remarks Cast. The Remarks, the podcast.
Yeah, the only podcast about remarks.
Yes.
And jizz.
So much.
A lot.
It's been a minute since we've talked about.
Yeah, no, for sure. Things have been kind of crazy.
I was going to say, we've been, I wouldn't say off our game, but we've just been not as chatty, jizzy, jazzy.
Yeah.
We've been, just been literally every single thing that could be going on in our lives is.
Yeah.
So.
Pretty much.
Give or take.
Give or take,
a
yeah.
few.
I feel like between the two of us, anything you can imagine has probably happened.
Yeah, it's like Murphy's Law or something.
It's true. It's something.
Murphy's podcast host law.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But so here we are. I'm feeling like we have a little more, rapport going on today.
Some snaz going on right now.
Oh, man. But we're back. We're back, and we have more episodes for you. Oh, I'm Phoebe.
And I am Taylor.
And we are the hosts of this episode of this podcast that you're listening to. And all of the other episodes of this particular podcast. We are also the hosts of...
Charlie.
XCX.
Yes, exactly.
Turn that Charlie XCX song up.
Lovely. Oh, by the way, your teeth gems are very nice.
Thank you. They're fun. Shout out my friend Katie. She does these cute little tooth gems, and I feel cute. I feel like
Katie.
Bing. I have little sparkles on my canine teeth. I feel like a fun vampire. So that's
true.
cool. Taylor's looking cute in his little beanie.
Yeah, winter Taylor.
Yeah, it's getting chilly.
It is chilly.
It is chilly. Did you know that Daniel calls his hats toboggans?
Because that's what they call them in fucking... Wait.
The South.
Maybe in the South. I know in Canada they call them something fucking dumb.
Yeah, they call
Torques, right?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or tooks.
Tooks, yeah.
Is that what it is? Yeah.
Something. I don't know.
Anyway, but toboggans, I guess. Anyway, Taylor, what are we talking about here today?
It is the final episode.
Yes.
In what was Cult Month last month. But as we just said, things have been insane.
Yeah. So we're dipping into November a little bit, and we're extending, the Halloween vibes, I guess, or just the really sad, upsetting vibes for y'all.
True. And we like researching cults. It's
very interesting.
We do Cult Month is because we're both interested in it. So
exactly. So
it's
who
we
cares?
wanted to do 4 episodes about cults, and
amen.
God damn it, we're gonna.
And by God, green thumb.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say.
Well.
For sure. I think, did you go first last time?
I believe I did.
And I will go first this time.
Take it away.
All right. I am talking about someone you may have heard of named Charles Manson.
Yep.
Stand-up guy, friend of the pod. Pretty unproblematic all around, really. Definitely didn't have a fucking swastika carved into his forehead.
Yeah, that if that's any indication that it's just like, don't, like, not a good just turn the other way.
Yeah.
Walk the other way.
Pretty strange.
That was kind of after all of the everything. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, definitely, some issues. Some
issues. Couple.
An issue or two.
Yeah.
Born November 12th, 1934, to a 15-year-old Kathleen Manson Bauer Cavender, in Cincinnati, Ohio. Father seems to have been sorry, I can't read what I fucking wrote here. Colonel Walker Henderson.
Oh, Colonel's the worst word ever.
I know, yeah. I fucked it up, so it's scribbled out.
His mother was 15.
Yeah.
Woof. Which, I mean, for then, but still, even then.
I mean, yeah.
15
still
is
gnarly.
Young as fuck.
For sure. In August of 1934, she married William Eugene Manson. And Maddox, which so Kathleen Manson Bauer Cavendier. I think she has a Maddox in there somewhere too.
Goodness.
But she would go on drinking sprees with her brother Luther, just around this time. And on August 1st of 1939, her and her brother were arrested for assault and robbery.
Woof.
So all that to kind of illustrate that, from day one, Charles Manson, not the best home life going on.
Yeah.
Didn't have what the people in the biz would call a safe childhood. He wasn't well nurtured.
Yes.
Manson was placed in family care in West Virginia. Mom paroled in 1942, so a few years later. Charles said that this time when he was in West Virginia in this care of other family members was the best weeks of his life.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. Said, let me pull this up. So to kind of get into when he was juvenile, like a young kid, he said that he lit his school on fire when he was 9 years old.
Oh shit.
And that's kind of unconfirmed. No one knows if that was true. I mean, I guess you could go and look at school fires, but even then it's maybe just the school caught fire and he took credit for it.
Sure, he just
obviously
wanted
said this
to
later on in life.
Yeah, just be edgy.
Yeah. Which is kind of all Charles Manson ever really was just a prototype edgelord that just got out of hand.
Yeah.
He went to Gibalt School for Boys when he was 13. Where he would have had beatings by either a wooden paddle or a leather strap. It was said that at this school, the teachers and the people that would monitor them would oftentimes let other kids do the beatings and stuff, and I mean,
that's never good.
Crazy thing, a school for boys in the early 1900s,
right?
Abusive,
yeah,
wild.
Not the best practices.
Yeah. He ran away to Indianapolis and committed his first known crime, robbing a grocery store. He had a job delivering mail for Western Union and also had some petty theft that he committed at this time as well. Again, this would have been, so this would have been the early 1950s, the late 1940s-ish. Yeah, he was caught in 1949, but a sympathetic judge sent him to Boys Town in Nebraska. Was the name of the school, I suppose. Which, Boys Town? Sign me up. All right, fellas? Cracking open a cold one. After 4 days, he acquired a gun and stole a car, committed 2 armed robberies, and then was arrested 2 weeks later. So he ended up like escaping Boys Town. He's constantly like getting the fuck out of these schools. But yeah, he was able to acquire a gun, committed 2 armed robberies, arrested 2 weeks later.
Sheesh.
So a lot of crime going on, as you can probably tell.
Yeah.
Big crime guy.
Big crime guy. Which, like, if, you know, it's like not knowing anything about him if you didn't. It's like, well, okay, you know, this sounds like he was a troubled teen, had the worst life ever, and then was sent to a 1950s version of a troubled teen school, which I'm sure is even worse than what we know.
Yeah.
And then, you know, ran away and, like, committed troubled teen kind of crimes. But it's like the blossoming of
True.
Who he is.
Who he became. Yeah, so he was sent to Indiana boys' school and allegedly was raped by other boys with staff encouragement. Again, very shocking that, you know, abusive schools. Escaped in February of 1951, arrested in Utah.
Hey.
Went to National Training School for Boys, which I believe was in Washington, D.C. So all this just to kind of say he was very much in and out of these places.
Just didn't have stability.
A caseworker who was kind of like dealing with him and did a psych evaluation deemed him aggressively antisocial, which, again, kind of tracks. October of 1951, Natural Bridge Honor Camp, a minimum security institution, is where he went out, or he was sent off to. January of 1952, cop raping a boy at knife point. So again, it's all kind of coming together here. Continued to commit 8 disciplinary offenses, 3 involuntary, or 3 of them being involving homosexual acts, which I don't know. It didn't give any like details on if this, like, I assume they were not consensual, but
yeah, it seems to be.
But also,
the case.
I wouldn't put it past like a school at this time to be like, that is a disciplinary
right,
act, just
exactly.
the act of homosexuality.
Yeah.
In 1954, he was released early for good behavior and married his wife, or at least his first wife, Rosalie Jean Willis. Was arrested again in 1955 for driving a stolen car across state lines and sentenced to 3 years at Terminal Island, LA, or Terminal Island in Los Angeles. Which honestly, kind of a bad name for a prison.
Yeah, not good.
Terminal Island.
Not encouraging in any way.
No, not at all. While in prison, Rosalie gave birth to Charles Manson Jr. Rosalie filed for divorce in 1958. Probably a good call on her part. And Manson did receive 5 years of parole. So he was released and, you know, was on parole for 5 years. He was pimping out a 16-year-old girl by November of that same year. And after attempting to cash a forged U.S. Treasury a forged check, U.S. Treasury check, he received a 10-year suspended sentence. Leanna, which was this woman that he had met, made a plea to release him so that they could get married, and they did end up getting married.
To the 16-year-old?
No. The 16-year-old was a separate person, but Leanna was another woman that he was pimping on as well.
Jesus.
After getting married, he took her and another woman to New Mexico to prostitute. He was arrested again and made to serve 10 years for kind of the same charge. He drove a stolen car across state lines, and he was made to serve the 10 years for that forged check because of that. They like let him off the hook at first.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, then he was made to do that. In 1961, he was transferred to Washington and began taking guitar lessons from one of the inmates there, which again is like a funny detail, but obviously he like became a musician. You know?
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, I didn't realize, like, this was a wild fact that I had to look up, but was there in that prison in Washington, he was there with Danny Trejo. Like,
oh my God.
The machete guy?
Yeah, Machete.
Yeah, Machete. Like, he was there with Charles Manson in this prison.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, crazy. Son of a bitch. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Urban legend has it that he auditioned for the Monkees, like the band Monkees. But this could not have been true because he was incarcerated at that time that they were holding auditions for the Monkees. He visited a clinic when moving to Berkeley. So Berkeley, California. The Haight-Ashbury Free Medical Clinic. The founder being a David E. Smith, was studying the effects of LSD and meth on the counterculture movements. Who do you think funded the Haight-Ashbury Clinic?
Fucking MK Ultra.
Yep, it was the good old CIA, baby.
That's right. And I totally, when we were doing the MK Ultra, I completely forgot to mention that this was a thing, and I'll let you get into it. But also, fucking Charles Diedrich, Synanon, he got MK Ultra, and that's why he started Synanon. I forgot to mention that as well when I was on the MK Ultra episode.
There's a lot of them. I think some people speculate that the Unabomber also.
I think that was also a speculation, and then and then there's like some like actual hippie people that got MK Ultra, and they were like, "This is sick."
Well, yeah, like because a lot of the people, like the hippie people, like Jerry Garcia, and them, like they knew that they were doing LSD,
right? Exactly.
Other people did not know.
Yes,
they were doing that.
Anyway, please.
Anyway, and I'm not gonna get too into that whole shtick because this is more just about Charles Manson. But his first cult member was Mary Brunner, who he was staying on the couch of for a while, so he was supposed to crash for like a couple of days, and it turned into a more permanent him crashing at her house.
Right.
And then the second was a woman named Lynette, air quotes, Squeaky Frome.
Yeah.
He began to attract large crowds to hear him speak, would prey on vulnerable individuals, and through LSD and unconventional sexual practices, attempted to make them bend to his will. So, and I mean, I think that by unconventional, you could probably say they were pretty unconsensual as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so it was definitely attracting. By April 1968, he attracted 20 followers, mostly women. Again, kind of like the same as the fucking Anthill Kids I did the other day. Like mostly women were kind of like the ones that flocked to him. Which sits
wrong with me.
Yeah. Don't like it. The core members included Charles Tex Watson, Bobby Bussolel? I don't know. Mary Brunner, Susan Atkins, Patrick Krenwinkel, Leslie Van Houten are kind of like his like main.
Yeah, those are definitely
boys.
Names that you hear.
Yeah, especially like Susan Atkins. I feel like most people have heard of her name.
Squeaky Frome.
Yeah. It was sometimes in 1967 that Susan, or aka like for Sadie for short, Atkins, discovered Spawn Ranch, where the family would begin living eventually. This is like where they kind of did all their stuff. Manson was in and out of prison and added probation for various reasons across the next year or two. The cult became a doomsday cult after Manson, who was a white supremacist, told followers that black people would rise up and kill all white people, but however, black people were too stupid to lead themselves, which would lead to them letting Manson become their like master. Was kind of his thought process.
Sure, if you can call it that.
I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of obviously
insane.
Hot take. Charles Manson,
crazy person.
Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. But yeah, that's like, so that was kind of his whole like what he can at least convinced his followers of. I don't know how much he actually believed of it. I mean, he obviously was kind of off his fucking rocker, especially at the end of his life, but I mean, who knows?
I would stretch to say that he probably believed that to an extent, for sure.
Yeah, because I know some people think that like he like was just like bummed that he wasn't going to have like musical success. So they were like, oh, so he was like trying to hold on to all of his followers. So he like started like coming up with this crazy conspiracies and stuff, which I kind of just think that, yeah, he was just a little insane and liked having influence over people.
Yeah. Like I think it's a combo of narcissism and antisocial personality disorder and,
being evil.
Yeah, being racist and evil.
Yeah, no, for sure. Bad guy.
Not good person.
Anyway, you know what is good?
This ad, this little ad right here that will play right now
as we speak.
And we say, ads.
Come as you are.
I did not realize. Come, my lady. Come, my lady. You my butterfly. Sugar, baby.
So true. I don't even feel like we need to do our podcast anymore because everything that needed to be said was said.
That was it
in that song.
Like, yeah. Close the books.
Yeah, like we don't need art. Art is dead, really. Like,
yeah, after that.
Yeah. What's the point, really?
After whoever wrote that song.
Come, my lady.
Come, my lady.
Yeah, who did write that song? I don't even know.
Crazy Town?
Oh, hell yeah.
Of course, Crazy Town.
Why would we think it was
song?
Anybody else, honestly?
Yeah, it's actually called Butterfly.
Oh, Butterfly.
Or is it called Come, My Lady? Well, now.
Intrigue.
Oh. It's Butterfly, parentheses, Come, my lady.
Oh, okay. So it's all of the above.
It is absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to start listening to more songs by Crazy Town.
I feel like we should. Maybe that could be our bonus episode today as we just listen to Crazy Town.
Yeah, sounds awesome
and
to
give
me.
Our fucking reviews of the songs.
This is a beautiful late 90s, early 2000s. I'm just going to give you a quick pick of Crazy Town.
Okay, I got to describe this.
Yes, please.
So he's got the soul patch.
Yep.
For starters. He got the soul patch. He's got some like chains on.
Mm-hmm.
He has the piercing through like the middle of his soul patch.
Mm-hmm.
And a nose ring and his ears pierced, but
and an eyebrow ring.
And an eyebrow
Don't
ring.
forget.
Sorry. And then the real kicker is he's got the frosted tips
Absolutely.
on the spiky hair.
Absolutely. And the soul patch is bleached.
Of course. How could I forget?
So.
How could I forget?
No, this is great.
That's truly.
I think this is going to be my new, stan. My new band that I stan.
Crazy Town.
Crazy Town. I'm going to be like, y'all don't know fucking Crazy
Twitter
Town?
Into
Crazy Town
Crazy
stan
Town
account.
Stan account, yeah, for sure.
Crazy Town updates. Crazy Town has not released music for 5 years.
So true. Well, back to fucking Charles Manson.
Back to this depressing shit.
So in late 1968, Manson named the upcoming war that he was talking about, where the black people would kill all the white people.
Yes.
Helter Skelter.
Indeed.
Off of the Beatles' White Album after the song. I don't know exactly what about the song. I don't know if anybody. I mean, I'm sure there are some like Manson historians out there that can draw some connections, but in all the research, it just said he named it after it. It didn't really give like a reason why.
And I don't really think that there is. I think it's just
him just being kind of a fucking whack job.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the same idea of what was it, Catcher in the Rye? Yeah. That guy was thinking it was telling him to shoot
John Lennon. Yeah, for sure. In August of 1969, Tex Watson and 3 other Manson family members murdered 6 people from August 8th to 9th, including actress Sharon Tate. Manson was found to be at fault by influence, his obsession with starting the race war by killing the quote-unquote pigs, and his belief that this would show the N-words how to do it as well. And again, I censored that. He obviously said the actual word.
Yeah.
But that was, I guess, his reasoning behind why he told people to go murder other people was to, like, kickstart the race war.
Right.
Manson carved an X in his forehead during the trial to X himself out of the world. Again, quotes there. And many of his followers did as well. They would camp outside of the courthouse, be there for all of the things that were going on.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that weren't obviously involved, like in the murders.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is definitely where it's like, well, he's just fully like unraveled as a person and is like, he believes at this point is believing these delusions. Like if you're carving into your own skin,
least, yeah,
you're kind of not. And please don't get it twisted that I'm trying to give him the insanity defense, because I'm absolutely not.
Yeah, oh yeah.
He deserves everything.
He deserved to
every type of punishment. Yeah,
for sure. One day, family members wore saffron robes to immolate themselves if Manson was convicted. That was like, there was I guess like a Buddhist monk who did that during like the anti-Vietnam War protests and things like that. So they were kind of like mimicking that.
Right.
I don't remember what the name of the monk was, but I am going to pull up a quote from Charles Manson during his trial here.
Wonderful.
Yeah, sorry, I was not prepared.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, which also to be noted, I mean, it's like he's giving these people massive amounts of LSD, like, you know, being with them sexually.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, like he was for sure manipulating these people. Like I 100% feel like he should have been punished, even though he's not the one who like actually went and killed anybody. Right. You know, for sure.
I mean, like they should also, they murdered some people,
True,
but
yeah.
like 100%, this guy fully was influencing them, and not just based on charisma. He also was like absolutely drugging people.
Oh yeah,
so
for sure. Let's see. The following day, and I'm just reading from the Wikipedia article here. Mm-hmm. The following day, Manson announced that he too wanted to testify. The judge allowed Manson to testify outside the presence of the jury. He stated as follows. There's just some like excerpts from it. These children that come at you with knives, they are our children. You taught them. I didn't teach them. I just tried to help them stand up. Most of the people at the ranch that you call the family were just people that you did not want. I know, and then Manson continued, equating his actions to those of society at large. I know this, that in your hearts and your souls, you are as much responsible for the Vietnam War as I am for killing these people. I can't judge any of you. I have no malice against you and no ribbons for you. But I think that it is high time that you all start looking at yourselves and judging the lie that you live in. Manson concluded, claiming that he too was a creation of a system that he viewed as fundamentally violent and unjust. My father is in the jail. This is Manson again. My father is in the jailhouse. My father is your system. I am only what you made me. I am only a reflection of you. You want to kill me? Ha! I am already dead. Have been all my life. I've spent 23 years in tombs that you have built. Which, like, I mean, again, I don't think he makes, like, he's not, like, there are some things, like, the thing about the Vietnam War, it's like, yeah, atrocious, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible thing that happened.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, it's like, there's a lot of people who are victims of the system that don't
exactly
start a cult and murder a bunch of people.
Yeah.
You know? So it's all
yeah, and also it's just like, well, I think like you purposely trying to start a race war is not exactly the same.
Yeah,
as
not exactly
Vietnam.
The same thing.
So why were you trying to start it if that was a doomsday situation? Whatever.
I don't know.
There's no point to trying to logic this.
Yeah. The 3 female defendants and Manson were all sentenced to death. Manson shaved his head for one of the days of the trial to, and I quote here, look more like the devil. Since everybody was calling him the devil, he's like, I shaved it to look more like the devil. Mm-hmm. The women, though they didn't shave their heads initially, they did end up shaving their heads as well. Again, his followers would kind of just do everything he'd do.
Right.
Atkins, or Susan Atkins, after hearing the verdict sentencing her, she was pulled out of the courtroom saying, better lock your doors and watch your kids.
Oof.
Of course, they did not end up getting the death sentences. I don't think Charles Manson might have been on death row when he died, but I don't know. He was alive for a long time, so I think they were able to appeal that actual sentence. But speaking of him being alive for a long time, he died November 19th, 2017.
That's right.
Yep. So pretty recently. One of his prison stints in 1961, and this was just like a little fun fact I added on. So before all this shit happened, he actually became a Scientologist. Wildly enough.
That really makes
kind of tracks,
some
yeah,
sense.
huh?
Yeah, it does.
It's
I
insane.
mean, it's just, from one cult leader to the next.
It's true.
As we said, I mean, this shit just bleeds and bleeds and bleeds into each other.
It all comes from the same place. It's insane. The Beach Boys did a cover of one of Charles Manson's songs.
No shit.
Yeah, it was, I don't know if I wrote it down, but
I'll Google while you're saying.
Yeah, Google that shit, because I know I was wild when I found that out. I think they like changed the name and a lot of the words to it, but I guess like it was a Charles Manson song.
Never Learn Not to Love is the song. So there you go.
Yeah.
Give that a listen.
So you can go listen to the Beach Boys cover of a Charles Manson song.
Yeah.
And of course, he has influenced other artists, there's one that's called Caspian Spawn Ranch, being Spawn Ranch after where the family lived. And of course, Marilyn Manson.
Yeah,
got their names from Charles Manson.
Right.
Just some of the cultural impact that he had
on
society.
And
then, I mean, like, I feel like everybody kind of knows Charles Manson.
It's become like a pop culture thing at this point.
And a lot of people suspect that, like, the whole Manson thing, I mean, I would believe, obviously it's just kind of proven that, like, the CIA was funding the clinic that gave them all that LSD.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people think the conspiracy goes, like, deeper in that, like, it was all staged to, like, paint the hippie movement as bad because it was, like, so anti-war and progressive,
Right.
I don't know if I really think that it was that gnarly. Like, I definitely think the CIA did some fuck shit, but I don't know.
And I'm sure that, like, media pieces leaned into, like, he's a hippie.
Exactly. Like the dangers of these.
Like, that's not really
the
part
free love movement. Yeah.
Matters.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, and truly that was like kind of, and I think it was kind of dying out anyway, as like trends do. But like that whole shit with Charles Manson did kind of end the hippie
fully.
movement.
Oh yeah.
So that's Charles Manson. At least an overview. You can
totally.
There was a movie I watched. I wish I could remember it, like what it was, but it was like a dramatic retelling of like the night that they went and killed all those people.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a horror movie. I don't remember what it was called. I'm gonna look it up. RQ while you get poised for
getting poised.
Your part.
Well, should I just get going? Get jumped into it?
I think you probably can.
Okay. Also, I did see this funny tweet that was like, podcast hosts 20 minutes after rambling on about their lives. Well, let's just dive right in.
So true.
And I was like, oh no.
I think it was Wolves at the Door.
Okay.
Is what it's called.
Cool.
Yeah, and again, like, you don't even really know that, like, I don't think Charles Manson appears in it even, because it's just about, like, what happened,
Yeah.
So there's not really any context until the end of the movie, and it, like, tells you, like, what happened,
Interesting.
But I feel like if you are smart, you'll be like, oh, this is a lot like those Manson folks.
Those
damn Manson folks,
Indeed. Well, I've got something less totally dark for you, I think. So I decided to pivot away from my whole hometown cults for this final episode of Cult Month. The overwhelming idea that I'm trapped in a state controlled by a racist, homophobic cult and surrounded by branch-offs of said cult, or counter-cults that destroy people's lives in different but equally as devastating ways, just became a little bit too depressing for me.
A little much, I can imagine.
Little much. I will definitely at some point in the future, like, pick up, I don't know, I have thoughts and I have so many dreams in my life, don't we all? But, like, I would love to eventually do, like, a full series just on, like, cult culture in Utah and the way that like it's so persevering and like endless and survives so well here. But anyway, that is for another time and going to be a lot of work. So, stay tuned several years in the future from now. But anyway, so I kind of turned a bit and I wanted to talk about how Jared Leto has created a cult on a Croatian island.
Yes, the Jared Leto cult.
Yes.
Dude, I tweeted about this once.
Yes. Or so that's what he says anyway. So alarm bells rang in 2019 when Jared Leto, Oscar-winning actor and frontman of the band 30 Seconds to Mars, posted a photo on the band's Twitter account of him in long white robes looking like the White Messiah, leading a group of people also clad entirely in white. And the caption read, "Yes, this is a cult. #Mars Island."
Yeah. Also, Jared Leto's such a fucking douche.
Oh
dude.
my god, he's such a douchebag.
I can't stand him as
and
a
I'll
human
like
being,
yeah
but...
oh god, we'll get into his other like shit, but he just like his music's not even that fucking good, dude.
It's true.
And I'm sorry, and like no shade to people that enjoy 30 Seconds to Mars, but I'm just like
he definitely thinks he's like a lot more talented and cool than he actually is.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, no, he thinks he's like he kind of thinks he is Jesus.
True.
So, Mars Island is an island that Leto purchased on the coast of Croatia, where he's been hosting the Mars Island Retreat, a 3-day festival that is described on the now removed website. And it says, "Relax and restore with yoga amongst the trees. Take a dip in the pool, catch a midnight screening or gaze at the stars, and catch 2 intimate performances with 30 Seconds to Mars. Mars Island is an experience like no other." Which, like, that seems like a pretty normal festival experience. Kind of. I mean, I'm like, also, y'all can't eke out, like, 3 performances if we're going to be there for 3 days.
That's, yeah, like, there's only, I don't know, yeah, it's a little... Well, but like not even really, because like what, you're just going to see like an intimate 30 Seconds to Mars performance where it's like, I feel like music festivals
is like an all-day thing.
Yeah, I guess this is also like a resort.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they're doing the yoga and the shit, but whatever. Anyway, so it seems like kind of a festival, maybe a little bit more spiritual than most, but like nothing too sinister yet.
Yeah.
Tickets for the retreat/festival can cost anywhere from $900 to $7,000, not including flights to Croatia.
Wow, good.
And the highest price packages here, of course, include meet and greets with Leto himself. Mm-hmm. This all seems like a massive waste of money, but again, it's kind of like,
to each their own, I guess, but...
Yeah. The weirder bits kind of came up upon further investigation. So 30 Seconds to Mars fans call themselves the Echelon, which... maybe I'm just missing something in their music, but I didn't really get like a reference there. But whatever, the Echelon.
I don't know.
But I mean, Little Monsters, Katy Cats, or whatever, Katy Perry's people. There's all kinds of names like that.
You always got like a weird fandom name in it. Barbs, even.
Barbs, right? Yeah. That's true. And they've apparently been having a cult-like relationship with Leto for years. Multiple Twitter posts from 30 Seconds to Mars fans call him a messiah, a prophet, and one even names him the Menaic Messiah, and then says seduction is his game, purple heart emoji. Which I'm like, maybe the word this fan was trying to use here was maniac, because the word maniac, MENIAC, is not a word.
Manic, maybe.
Oh, he is manic. So I don't know if I'm missing something, but
it's never good when you hear like messiah and seduction
absolutely
in the same sentence,
very bad.
That seems like it's just a cocktail for not good things.
Yes, absolutely very bad stuff. Many posts from 30 oops, I already read that. Posts from 30 Seconds to Mars fans and from the band itself include the hashtag "you wouldn't understand," and have used the band has used the term cult in the past. So people will post like the 30 Seconds to Mars tattoos that they have, or them being at Mars Island, or this other like festival thing that they threw, and using the hashtag "you wouldn't understand." Following the concern over the Mars Island post, Jared Leto defended himself, saying that calling the band and the 3-day festival a cult was all a big joke. According to Leto, the band had been called out for having extremely diehard fans and a cult-like following. I honestly had no idea that 30 Seconds to Mars was like still making music, let alone that they had such a strong and like intense, devoted following. But I stand corrected.
I've never met a single person that's like a diehard 30 Seconds to Mars fan.
Me either.
Honestly, I've never met a single person that still likes 30 Seconds to Mars.
No.
Like, everybody I've met is like, yeah, like I listened to like one of their songs once.
Yeah. I got really into their, what was that album? Like The War or something. I got into that in high school because I was like, he is so hot. And he does his voice pretty good. I won't lie.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was like, okay. But, yeah, these people are intense. And it's become more about Leto himself than even, like, the music or his acting. It's literally just kind of his, like obsession with Jared Leto and, like, the, what are they, like, auteur that they think that he is.
Yeah.
I went on a Facebook like group for 30 Seconds to Mars that was like the Echelon or Echelon people or something like that. And every single post is like, what is his new Morbius that he's in? It's like, I cannot wait to see. I'm going to see this movie because Jared Leto's in it. Don't even care what it is. Anyway, so people are intense, I bet. In a YouTube video that appears to be an ad for the Mars Island Festival, maybe the video is like very directionless, so it's really hard to tell. It reads a lot like an ad for a mega church. It describes what the Echelon is. There's shots of crying fans, 30 Seconds to Mars playing shows, and Jared Leto's long flowing hair play over dramatic orchestral music that, ironically enough, it's not even the band's actual music. It's like a default like da-na-na-na-na, like iMovie song.
No.
Yeah, just like they looked up like dramatic song.
Yeah.
Words flash over the video saying, the Echelon, belief, hope, emotions, understanding, music, support, world unification, love, shouts, communication.
Shouts.
Communication, freedom, happiness, tears, dreams.
What?
Happiness, tears.
Okay.
Dreams. It is the family. And then that's kind of it. Like, it doesn't say, like, oh, come to this fucking retreat or whatever. Anyway, again, just things that kind of make your hairs raise a tad.
You're like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like calling like things the family.
Yeah, good, as
like,
we just learned.
We just learned, literally. Like,
yeah, never a good thing. Never a good. Even folks, maybe some of you who are younger listening to this, if you start working somewhere and they describe the company as a family, quit immediately.
Yeah.
Or demand higher pay because
100%.
They will treat you like shit.
Yeah.
And pay you bad. And then no, you go.
No, I'm agreeing because there's a reason why they feel the need to overcompensate on like the company culture so heavily.
Yes.
Almost 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be bad.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's an excuse to overwork you and underpay you. So make a union, if anything.
Please unionize.
Quit or unionize. Unionize first. If not, quit. Anyway. So Leto and his band have been doing immersive experiences with their fans since 2015 when they started Camp Mars, a summer camp in Malibu where fans of 30 Seconds to Mars or just of Leto himself could come and supposedly spend quality time with the band and Leto. Tickets to this are around the same price range as Mars Island, maybe slightly cheaper. And the description I could find for some of the events in the past read, "This is a rustic nature experience. Expect to share your living space and live in a wonderfully communal way. The facilities are clean and safe, but they are not 4-star hotel suites with dinner mints on your pillows. Make sure you understand exactly what you're getting." So, it's giving Fire Festival.
True.
You had to like pay, I think you had to pay up to like $6,000 to get quarters where you would be by yourself and not like hostel style with other people, which again isn't like the worst thing ever, but still not great. Yeah,
I mean, again, I feel like the crux of why it seems so like scummy to me is just that like I don't think Jared Leto is worth that much.
Yeah, no. Definitely not.
Like, again, I guess if you're really into him, I don't know.
Yeah. So nothing.
Yuck any yums, but
yeah. I'm gonna yuck.
I might yuck a yum or two.
Here I'm yucking. I'm about to yuck. So while nothing too serious has been reported from either Camp Mars or Mars Island, the idea of a pretty unhinged celebrity, or of a celebrity that's as unhinged as Leto is, keeping extremely devoted fans on a private island for 3 days and thousands of dollars, definitely does not sit right with me. Mm-hmm. Especially when you consider the fact that they provide matching tattoos during these festivals. And as all accounts read, the participants of these tattoos are pretty willing, but also you're kind of in this intense scenario where you were like, yes, of course I want a triangle fucking tattoo. And the fact that several attendees have reported that when they thought they were going to get a 30 Seconds to Mars performance, it was actually just Jared Leto preaching at them. Oh. So that's also not great.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, at least give them what they paid for, even if it's grossly overpriced.
Exactly. Play your fucking show with your little band,
your little
bro.
Yeah,
like that's
dumb little band.
Come on,
love.
You're here over the whole thing. You called it Mars Island. Play the fucking music. Anyway, what makes all of this far more concerning, though, and leads me a bit further down the cult leader rabbit hole with Leto, is his god complex, his out-of-pocket antics in Hollywood, as well as his allegations against him from underage women.
There it is.
Yeah. Jared Leto has a history of dating and having sexual relationships with women decades younger than him, and has been called out online by other celebrities for pursuing underage women. Cole Sprouse tweeted in 2018, "Yo, Jared Leto, now that you've slid into the DMs of every female model aged 18 to 25, what would you say your success rate is?" To follow that up, director James Gunn of Suicide Squad, who did not allow Jared Leto back to reprise his role of the Joker after his antics on and offset during Suicide Squad, responded saying he starts at 18 on the internet.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when like Cole Sprouse is the hero of your story, like when you look bad to Cole Sprouse, like I don't know what to tell you. Like you're bad. I don't.
Yeah, you're a horrible person. A source told the New York Post, there was a while ago an article posted in the New York Post, which is like, New York Post isn't like the greatest ever. However, this is pretty credible sources, and the woman who wrote the article is like a credible journalist. Anyway, so a source told this article in the New York Post, he's a serial texter. He's constantly texting these 16 and 17-year-old girls. It's really kind of creepy, which is behavior that we've seen from, you know, the whole Drake Millie Bobby Brown situation. Like, this is not innocent behaviors.
It never is.
No.
Like, it's
like you as a, you know, however old he was at that time, like he was 50, I believe, in 2018. So it's like, this isn't, they're underage, so don't do that. Underage fans have also come forward with allegations that Leto has raped them or pursued them. One woman said, or girl at the time, said he was very pushy into coercing me to do sexual acts with him, and he was quite rough and forceful. Once he was unnecessarily rough, and when I told him it hurt, he didn't stop. He never did anything slowly or for my pleasure, and no, he never asked me if it was okay or comfortable with anything he wanted to do, simply because he is not the person to care. You know, and there's been entire online forums that have been like just repeated allegations against him, whether it's like DMs to these young fans, him actually inviting young fans backstage and then doing inappropriate things with them, whatever that level of, you know, whatever number of inappropriate things that it is. However, this man and his god complexes has scrubbed all of this shit from the internet. You can find a lot of it, but it's like snippets of, oh, hey, this website that's now taken down or whatever. And then to speak on the whole Suicide Squad situation that I mentioned a bit earlier, he has since now gone back and said, oh, this is all like defunct and blah, 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 none of this happened. However, co-stars on Suicide Squad have reported that he gave out these like very uncomfortable gifts to his co-stars. I'm sure that you probably saw this floating around.
Recall, yeah.
He sent like used condoms, a dead mouse, anal beads, and at one point came in and had like Will Smith reported that he had a henchman, quote unquote, come in and put a dead pig on the table, and then the henchman just left.
Yeah, and wasn't he trying to be like, oh, I was just like getting in character for the Joker or whatever?
So, and that's his other like thing and weird like God complex and like antics in Hollywood that he does is he claims he's like this amazing method actor, and so he like gets so deep into these characters, and so he claimed that was him getting deep into the character of the Joker, but it's like, well,
everybody kind of hated that. Everybody hates you, and like the movie wasn't even like good.
It wasn't good, and that wasn't like, I think going into that movie, it was unserious.
Yeah.
And I think you could read it as being unserious as an actor taking a role in that movie. I mean, my God, the memes of the fucking I was his queen and whatever, the fucking the line about Joker and Harley Quinn. Like, and look at Margot Robbie. It was an outstanding performance. She was great, but it was a silly character, and I think she was fully aware of that. And it's like, bro, I don't think it's method acting. I think you're like just a dick. Like, I think you're just fucking annoying, and also method acting is kind of fucking stupid. Just act, be an actor. That's your entire job. Well, other than being a weird pseudo rock star.
It's like, I feel like he wanted to be like, I don't know, like he wanted to like have that fucking what was the other Joker that everybody liked?
Oh, Joaquin. Or not Joaquin.
What's his fucking name? Brokeback Mountain. Heath Ledger.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Brokeback Mountain. That's all I needed to say to remember.
Yes.
Like he wanted like that Heath Ledger effect because like Heath Ledger was so good, but like, I mean, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You aren't. I don't think that you're capable personally of doing what like Heath. And like, not to say like, I mean, I'm not like worshiping any fucking movie.
No.
Like, it's just a movie, but like, I just don't think he has the skill that Heath Ledger.
He doesn't. I mean, Heath Ledger's been in multiple movies, and he's a good actor.
Yeah.
Jared Leto is not.
Is just
sorry.
Is just absolutely
he's just not a good actor. The thing too is that it's like it's not cool to have like a mental breakdown like we just said his fucking name. Thank you. Like Heath Ledger did. Like that wasn't a good or cool thing or honorable thing that happened. It was like he's an unstable man and it was very sad. Like you shouldn't try to emulate that. You should try to have a healthy relationship with a character that you're playing in a movie.
Agreed.
Anyway, I'm not an actor, so who am I to say?
True.
But you know who is an actor?
Oh, yeah. Who?
Oh yeah,
I totally forgot about the break.
It's because I'm so
on top of it.
I'm so good at everything.
We're podcasters.
We're not actors. We're podcasters.
True.
And that is a far more honorable career, let me tell you.
It's never
the amount of just completely unproblematic podcasters that are out there that have never said anything wrong or questionable.
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure. Well, and I mean, everybody knows that like you can't edit audio, so like it's just like once you say it, it's there.
It's out there.
The world,
yeah. So
I don't know, man. Anyway. And we're back.
We're back.
Yeah, I know. So, like, incredibly back. Like, it's kind of unhinged.
Yeah. I don't even have, like, my torso is just two backs. It's just like...
It's true, yeah.
You turn around and it's just another...
the same, yeah. Boobs gone.
Yeah.
Only back.
Yeah. It's just, instead of boobs, it's like another set of... shoulder blades.
Shoulder blades, yeah.
It's kind of
weird.
fun. They're pointy. So I can fight with them.
True, yeah. That is the true, like, utilization of shoulder blades is for fighting.
Yeah. Well, it's giving, Malignant.
Yeah.
Actually.
Boy, is it, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Go watch Malignant.
I was going to say, listeners, if you haven't seen that movie, please.
It's insane.
It's some of the craziest shit I've ever fucking seen.
Truly.
2 other recommendations if you want just like a weekend of like wacky movies. I would say that's the best way to describe this. On Hulu, it's called The Brahmastra, and it's a Bollywood movie, which are always awesome. But it's like, I think it's like Bollywood. It's like giving Bollywood meets Marvel.
Oh.
And there's just, the CGI is absolutely fucking mind-blowing. I was like, where has this technology been? The CGI is bonkers, and the plot line's just all over the place, and the music is fucking amazing. So,
damn.
10 out of 10 suggest. And then if you want to watch the worst Christmas movie, Hallmark-style Christmas movie you've ever seen in your life, it's called The 12 Pups of Christmas. You would be surprised how little pups there are in this movie.
I love a good bad.
Oh, it's so
movie.
awful. We decide we want to find like a drinking game, which I'm sure they exist. Just Googling like whatever, and just do like Hallmark drinking game. Because man,
I would love to participate.
Yes, we'll do a little get together. It'll be fun.
That sounds lovely.
Listeners, you're invited.
Yeah,
come along.
Show up at Phoebe's house.
If you know where I live.
If you
please don't know where I live though.
Please don't actually.
Unless you're our friends and you're listening. Hi.
For sure.
Anyway, so getting back into Jared Leto, so we were just talking about all of his like very terrible behaviors and just like weird God complex as a human being, and then also the fact that he's like a bit of a pedophile. So while none of this doesn't really have anything to do directly with Mars Island, other than the fact that like it's him and it's his thing. I do think that this brings up a larger conversation about the cult of celebrity in general. Like, why is such a pompous asshole and alleged pedophile allowed to have this large platform, and why is he allowed to house people on like a private island? Why does he continue getting away with harassing underage fans, and why do people continue to defend him? And people are there on the article talking about his sexual assault allegations on underage women. The comments were like, "This is slander against Leto," da 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 da. When it's like pretty. The allegations are pretty solid, I would say.
Yeah, no. For sure.
But it's it's just this continued like defense. Being a celebrity or even just like a wealthy person comes with a large responsibility to the public, like it or not. And the way that our society, and specifically the United States, has pushed celebrities up to the same level as government officials has us all walking a very thin rope when it comes to their influence. And this brings me to my next point, Kanye West.
Ah, yes.
A man who has repeatedly come under fire for his crass, dangerous, sexist, racist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic behaviors. And my current biggest concern, aside from like everything, is Donda Academy.
Oh yes, I heard about this.
I'm sure you kind of have seen some of the videos floating around the Twitter sphere and things like that. There's not a lot known yet, so I'm gonna just kind of give you the basic knowledge that I have, and then sort of some of my speculations. With obviously take those with the tiniest grain of salt because they're not accurate. But being the person who I am and knowing some of the things I do, this just makes my skin crawl in a special way. So, according to the Donda Academy website, this is what they say goes on at Donda Academy in their daily schedule or whatever the fuck. So it says Donda in a day. Each day, Donda students learn fundamentals, grow in their faith, and experience 2 enrichment classes. Daily schedule. Full school worship, followed by core classes of language arts, math, and science, followed by lunch and recess, followed by enrichment courses, including world language, visual art, film, choir, and parkour.
Interesting addition there, but okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, the fact that, and I don't know, I mean, just calling them enrichment courses, it just sounds...
It sounds culty, you're right.
Yeah, like the language is weird. Yeah. It also just kind of sounds like they're like animals in a zoo, like it's the enrichment in their fucking thing. But the part that's like, I think I'm most concerned about is the full school worship.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is which I mean, I don't know. I have problems with any Christian like school institution, and this one is definitely very heavily Christian. But, Kanye West's style of Christian, so.
Insane Christian.
So even,
more insane than normal Christians.
Right. Donda Academy has a $15,000 tuition, and parents allegedly have to sign an NDA.
That's never good.
No, not at all. It's been said, one parent said that they had to just sign like what did they call it? Not a full NDA basically, but like hey, don't talk about this as much agreement kind of thing. But some parents have said that it was a full NDA. I could see part of the reason for the NDA being the fact that Kanye West will bring celebrities to the school to give like lectures and things. So I guess it's sort of protecting those celebrities, but also don't send your children to a school where you have to sign an NDA.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem in any way.
Like, if you can't talk about what your children are doing at school every day, don't go there. Don't go there. What Kanye West had to say about the school, speaking with ABC News, he called it a gospel school, and he said that it gave kids practical tools that they needed in a world post the iPhone being created.
Very deep, Kanye. Very deep.
Yeah. So many schools are made to set kids up for industries that don't even matter anymore. He said that with the way that Donda is created and the courses that they have, it could actually turn your kids into, like, geniuses.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I understand. I think that this could be a cool, if you were teaching children coding, if you were teaching children social media marketing, if you were teaching children, internet focused things, because that is a reality and we do need to be like educating our children on these things and teaching them how to we can't just focus on like traditional math and social studies anymore. We need to be shifting our focus into like what an online and fully technological world is going to look like.
Of course.
I think that's honorable, but that's not what's going on here. What's going on here is that they are like studying quote unquote Jesus. Hey, Tonksy.
Tonks
that's
is in
the sound.
building.
If you heard that little jingle, that's the sound of her collar.
In the chat.
Hi, buddy. They're singing Kanye West's mother's name and studying Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway, and having other celebrities come in and be like, "Hey, it's me, a celebrity."
Yeah. It's giving like, how there'll be like a lot of like influencers and YouTubers who like make like little like social media courses you have to pay for. And it's basically just like, it's just them being like, well, you got to make videos that are funny.
Yeah.
And then
make
people
good
will like
content.
Them. Yeah, like that's like the whole like thing.
Yeah.
It's giving that where it's like
absolutely.
It's not really giving any actual practical advice on how to like succeed in a social media focused world.
Right.
It's just being like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just giving like do what if you do art and you post it on the internet and it's good enough, then people will like it. And
it's that whole thing of like, oh, would you rather have $5 million or go to one dinner with Jay-Z or whatever it was? And anyway, of course, Kanye West, the uniform is Kanye West's collaboration with Gap, and it's black baggy t-shirts and baggy sweatpants, all black.
Nice.
So that as well, which again, uniforms are very common, but combined with all of these things, it just sits very wrong.
Yeah.
Many of the staff have never worked in education positions before, which is very kind of hilarious, just given his statement before where he said that the teachers and staff employed at the school would turn your kids actually into like geniuses. However, many of them have never actually worked in education before, specifically the ones up at the top of the school. The principal literally has never worked in education before and used to work for his Sunday services. So, it appears to me that most of the school day is dedicated to praising Jesus and praising Kanye's recently deceased mother. And in fact, what tipped me off to talk about this at all was a video that surfaced on Twitter of Donda Academy students singing Good Morning Donda in what literally appears to be like a parking garage.
Yeah, that
it's
was
really
the
weird
video that I saw.
The students are wearing all black, baggy uniforms, and if I can be a bit harsh, the song is honestly lacking in substance. And let me just pull this up for you for a moment, because it is interesting.
I'm sure that a lot of you had like saw the video.
I'm sure
Twitter,
you have.
But if you haven't, it was strange to say.
It's
the
unsettling.
Least. Yeah. I don't know.
And it basically just goes on like that for a minute and a half. I don't know if like the parking garage look of it all is just because they couldn't like film in the actual school because of the NDA situation, but also Kanye West's like subsidized apartments that he made. Do you remember that whole thing as well?
That's actually something I didn't know.
A little bit ago. He created like income restricted housing or something. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and they basically looked exactly like that, just like gray blobs.
Interesting.
Well, this is just bringing up his like apartments. Anyway, doesn't matter as much. So
we'll have to talk about, and I'd have to do some research into it. But did you ever hear about the fucking like Kanye video game that turned out to be fucking weird? Like, had some weird shit going on. Like ARG, like weird potentially. I mean, I don't know if it was. I don't even know if Kanye had anything to do with it, honestly. But it's just like another thing that just reminded me.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's a lot floating around this man. That
it's. I don't know. It was very strange. Like there was like it looked to be like just a regular ass like our little RPG like video game where your little character walking around, but then like there was this point where you could like you typed in the word ascend or something and it took you to this like weird thing, and then like you were like, oh, you were part of the new order, and like just got like weird, you know. It almost seemed like a fucking creepypasta.
Yeah.
Wait, let me see.
Yeah. We honestly could do an entire I almost said website, an entire episode just on like Kanye West himself, just to and all of the many different things that he's gotten up to.
Yeah, it was called Kanye Quest 3030. That's kind of funny. Was the game. What?
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Kanye Quest.
And then like it just got weird, if I remember. Yeah, the strange story of Kanye West in gaming. I don't know. Yeah, like I'll have to like look into it more. But I remember there was some weird shit. Look it up if you want.
Yeah,
because like
interesting.
It gets weird.
Interesting. So yeah, all this is to say that West is a clearly unstable person. From the White Lives Matter T-shirt that he wore at his Yeezy Fashion Week recently, to the anti-Semitic rants on Twitter, to the ongoing sexism, he's clearly unfit and unsafe to be running a school where children's parents have to sign an agreement to stay quiet about what happens at this school. And once again, we are hit with the endless defenses for West. Because of his status, he's defended over and over, regardless of the fact that his actions only become more and more dangerous and unhinged. Great example is that he recently posted on his own social media where his 2 children with Kim go to school.
Yeah.
So a danger even to his own family, which he has been this whole time, honestly. Thus far, the only concerning reports from Donda Academy appear to be that the schools struggle to operate after Kanye's endless scandals, and I'm just going to read this quote from an article. Donda Academy reportedly emailed parents to announce that it's shutting down for the rest of 2022 to the 2023 school year, with plans to begin afresh in 2023. However, hours later, the academy reportedly sent a follow-up announcing that the school would be open again on Friday. This most recent message invited families to gather in worship for the return of Donda Academy. The email continued, noting that the school would return with a vengeance and with the help of parents.
That sounds threatening.
Yeah. I was like, that really, I don't feel good about a vengeance at all.
Vengeance, huh?
After this school year had to shut down because you posted horribly anti-Semitic comments on your personal Twitter, but okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So regardless of what happens with Donda Academy, here's just yet another unwell, unchecked celebrity being given irresponsibly way more power than he should ever have access to.
I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like and I mean, I feel like we've talked about it before, probably on the podcast, but there's like just this weird thing with like America and celebrities, and like, I don't know, I think it kind of just goes into like how we also kind of like deify fucking billionaires.
Totally.
And it's just like, where it's like, we all like want to believe like, oh yeah, like eat the rich and like progressivism, but then we also still like kind of strive to like have this rich status like celebrities do.
Right. I mean, look at the defenses that are coming for Elon Musk. Every single time somebody gives like a unbelievably valid criticism of him, you get like 47 fucking dudes replying and being like, well, he's a genius and he worked really hard and and it's like, even though, you know, they are suffering at his behest.
Yeah.
Like,
it's true. But yeah, so I just think that it's an extension of that. Even
it
probably
is.
more so with like musicians, because and like, you know, celebrities, as we would call them, because it's easier to relate with them, I guess, because they do put like art into the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus like Elon Musk, who doesn't really contribute anything that's like feasible to us. I mean, what, like Tesla cars
that
like,
you can't afford.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely true where, you know, Kanye West has released like some very personal music that people have been able to relate to, and so because of that, like, they think that he can just go around unchecked doing all the things that he does because he has the excuse of he's a musical genius, I guess. But as our girl No Name once said, fuck, now I can't remember the line. She says something about like defending billionaires while you're on the bus. Wait, I'll find the line right now. How you make excuses for billionaires when you broke on the bus. So exactly.
True.
Exactly.
Five sure, brother.
Well,
that was it.
That's all I have to say.
Me too. Hopefully we'll be back on our regular shit.
I think we should be. I mean, I still have a little bit crazy stuff happening. I am possibly purchasing a home. We will see.
True.
Yes.
Yeah, I've had some family stuff come up recently.
Yeah. So shit's a little wild right now, but, you know, we'll try and keep on top of it. But if not, you know, we love you. Of course. We're just busy girls. So.
True. Busy dolls.
But yeah, y'all. How do we close this thing?
The plugs,
it's been
baby.
too long. The pluggy.
Sicky with the blicky, as the kids say.
You know, the Da Vinci twins guys who will just, their jokes for everything is just duh whatever-y. Da pluggy. Anyway, you can follow us on the Instagram at Remarks Podcast. You can follow our TikTok at Remarks Podcast. Taylor, what's up?
Twitter.com at RemarksPod. Leave us a like and a review on Apple Podcasts. Stream my music if you would like to. It is Taylor Lacey.
It's very good.
Folk songs about hating the government, baby. And shout out to our patrons. We have Justin Vass,
Emily Doran,
Andrew Vass,
and Tede Soltero.
Thank you all so much.
Salt
we
of the
love
earth.
you. And of course, big shout out to Circle Pit Radio.
Y'all are the best, and looking forward to some fun things coming up with Circle Pit Radio in your near future. So
very true. Very excited for that.
Very excited.
And yeah, I think that covers it all.
That's the tooth.
And that's all, folks.
Oink. Oink. Anyway, thanks for listening, and
love you. Bye.